All right, this is gonna be the last video for today. So let's get right into it. I have an idea, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's just start, and we don't have to worry about anything. We're doing this on the spot, anyways. I want to start off by saying that when you are at a basic level and you're isolated in the world, you gotta remember, man. You can go with a group of 20 people to a nightclub, talk to everybody there, do everything, walk around, blah blah blah. You can still be isolated, okay? Like it's just the way the world works. You know what I mean? People confuse, like, that term reality is quite confusing for some people. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my life literally sucks though because I caught COVID and I got sick, or my life sucks because I lost my job, and I'm going through so many hard times. I'm going through a divorce. I'm going through lawsuits with my business partners. The company collapsed. You know what I mean? I'm in the worst situation in the world. I'm in the worst place in the world, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, everybody's thinking, dude, but in the world, when I think about this guy, all I think about is how goddamn awesome he is. All I think about is all those medals he has in his closet. All I think about is how much some people actually respect his word and his integrity. All I think about is how cool we always thought he was. We fucking made, we used to just conversate and talk about how cool he was. Why is the world, or why is anybody saying that this guy's a loser or he's in a bad place? Because as far as I know, I got everything right now. I got myself a beautiful condo downtown, a couple of exotic cars, all the friends in the world, all the parties. Yet I'm not even in the position that this guy is in. I mean, this guy is like a fucking legend. Okay, for example, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, now what I wanted to talk about was when you gotta understand, level 1 is like basic. Okay, it means you can never progress past that. Doesn't have to do with your potential. Okay, but if you're at a basic level, it means your mind is basically it's not progressing. Your body is not, even though your body grows, even though you're acquiring more knowledge and you're acquiring lots of knowledge, but you're not progressing level wise. Practically, the truth is that practically doing, big dreams or accomplishing things will be absolutely impossible for you. Okay, but if you were really amazing, yeah, level 1, you could accomplish some things, but you're not going anywhere in this world when you are A, basic level, B, isolated, and C, a child. Okay, when these 3 things are there at the same time, you are not, like, people say, oh, impossible is possible. No, you're not going anywhere, man. Realistically, you could have all the ambition in the world, all the motivation. It'll always fall out. It'll always go. It'll always be gone. And you can try every morning to be the man again, or to do everything again, and you will lose everything. At the same time, at a high level, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's like driving at like 300 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like, you remember at the basic level, you were going at like 35, 40 miles an hour. You know what I mean? When you were driving and you were careful and everything, and you were still missing stuff. You weren't seeing pedestrians. You weren't really checking intersections. You didn't really know what was going on. And now you're at a level where you're just like going, like, you're flying in your car. Like, nobody can pass you. You know what I mean? Or there's not that many people that can pass you. You're like exclusive, man. Like, you're one of the fastest out there. You're one of the best out there. Nothing holds you back. There are people who are at such a high level. Let's say in one thing. Let's say in soccer. They're at such a high level. Dude, they could have the shittiest personality in the world. They could be the biggest assholes. They could have had the worst beginnings. But when you're at that high of a level, it's just impossible to not land $1 million contract, to not be one of the most recognized players. It's absolutely impossible. The same way it's impossible if you're at a basic level. And let's say even if you're good at other things, but if you choose something, let's say, just because you wanted to prove something, or your neighborhood or your family promoted or your friends promoted it, but you're at a basic level, you're not that good in that thing, it's absolutely impossible for you to proceed or progress. Like, really. You know what I mean? But when you're at a high level, it's absolutely impossible to not land stuff. People look at you, how is he doing that? How does he not mess up? How is he constantly doing that? Dude, that is like, I've been at a high level. For me, it was like, when I first realized that I wasn't isolated anymore in the world, when I realized that I was like at the same level as any individual person, and that like my being was understood and accepted, let's say my looks, my genetics, my thinking, things like that. When I had that presence, I automatically knew that, like, dude, it wouldn't be that long before I would start getting results and things well. But I didn't expect to progress at like that highly through the time. You know what I mean? Because in my time right now, and with the whole COVID and all that shit, I mean, it was really hard to really do anything. And out of like the dirt and the dust and the darkness, I was able to progress really much faster than I had thought I could. You know what I mean? Like, I really progressed very fast, and I continue to progress really fast. I feel like I'm just at a whole another speed level. Again, I will tell you again, man, if you are that good at business and you are at that level, it is almost impossible for you not to land. And I'm not going to go into the reasons. There's many factors. You know what I mean? But, you got to remember, man, who you are out there, and who your person and your persona and who you are, really, like who you actually are, is a big deal. It doesn't matter how messy your situation is. Dude, believe me, you could have the best situation in the world, man. You could have been born into the best situation in the world, and eventually things would have taken place. I've seen it, man. I've seen people who never took an L, man. I've seen people who are so good, man. Who are born into what do you call it? Richness? What do you call it? Wealth. They were born into wealth. They were born into connections. They were born treated like they were shining, never taking an L. They were so good. And being so high and being so good and thought so highly of. You know what I mean? Thought so highly of. And they take that first L that they got, and they can't even believe it's to a guy who is intimidating to a lot of guys or and whatnot. But this guy, nobody even thinks highly of him. Not officially. Nobody's praising his actual name the way they were praising the person who took that first L. Just that first L is hard enough to accept, but to accept to somebody who is seen by the world officially as nothing, somebody who was nothing, somebody who was a clown, defeated you. I've seen it. Guys will break. Guys will even commit suicide at that point. And I'm serious. Guys will literally commit suicide. How did he commit suicide? He had everything in the world, had all the money in the world, all the connections, family, friends, had the name, had the accolade. Everybody knew him. Everybody respected him. He commanded respect. People put his name in. His name carried weight, and he got that L from a nobody who was born into nothing, with no advantage in life, who didn't take any handout from anybody, who was self-made, who came out of the dirt, of the darkness, and defeated him. That can break people. I'll give you an example, okay? Before you go, that doesn't make any sense. I don't have to, but I will do this, okay? And I don't like doing this. I don't want to do this much longer, but I'll do this. The example I'll give you is typically in one-on-one combat sports. You see, a guy carries himself, right? He makes a lot of money. He does an amateur career, goes to Olympics, wins an Olympic medal for his country, right? Goes into professional league, like boxing, for example, or kickboxing. Goes into the professional league, 50-0, 100-0, 150-0. It really happens. Guys got so much money. They're getting paychecks like crazy. Some no-name guy they get matched up with. They get matched up with some no-name guy. They go, dude, we don't even need to do any funny business. I'm going to knock this guy out in first round. He's having fun at the pressers and all that. And the other guy knocks him out in a minute. A no-name guy knocks him out. You know what he does? Goes to the public. Everybody's trying to hold him up. Oh, it's because he didn't take him seriously. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But that L hits the guy like a fucking train, man. Like a railroad train, just, you know, like those trains that go over hills and mountains, just bam, knock you off the mountain, man. It happens, man. There are professional greats, legends who committed suicide. People know about that. That shit happens, man. That shit happens, and if it can happen there, imagine all the other places it can happen. It's crazy. It's crazy. You might as well give somebody the right respect. You know what I mean? Before you lose to somebody. And, you know, you don't want to lose to some no-name trash. His life sucks. And he sucks. And that's the guy that just pummeled your ass and left you in the dust. If you don't respect the guy that defeated you, what do you think about yourself? At that moment, you must think very low of yourself. You know, you went from here to all the way down here. Now you're contemplating suicide. You know what I mean? And the other guy, you know what I mean, coming up, self-made and all that, this guy feels pretty good about himself. You know what I mean? But this guy was supposed to be the shit. He just lost to this guy and he's dealing with this guy's reality and he can't deal with it. Whereas this guy, dirt, darkness, all the worst things, and he's still there. And he's still doing his thing. And he still doesn't give up. So give respect where it's due, or else it doesn't really look too good on you, right? Am I right or wrong? Or was that like my throat just going at a different level?